Welcome to Whom It May Concern, the podcast.
Welcome back to Whom It May Concern, the podcast where we keep it real about parenting, marriage, and all the beautiful chaos in between. I'm your host, Phillip Brandon, proud father of 4, including twins, which means I've seen things that cannot be unseen. Today's episode for all the parents who's ever stepped on a Lego at 2 a.m., who've had their name called 87 times before 8 a.m., or who've had to eat cold chicken nuggets, not because they wanted to, because they just gave up. Yes, today we're talking about laughing through the chaos and finding humor in parenting. It's a wild ride. Let's take a look. And let's be honest, parenting is one long, unfiltered comedy special where the jokes are made at your expense. So if you don't laugh, well, you must cry, even just a little bit. Whether you're listening from your car, hiding in the pantry with a snack you told your kids didn't exist, or pretending to be busy in the bathroom, this one is definitely for you. You ever have one of those days where you wake up and before you even get to brush your teeth, your kids have already broken something, drawn on the wall, or asked for a full-course meal? Yeah, that's parenting. I remember one morning, I woke up to my toddler standing over me, whispering, "I made a potion." Now, as a parent, when you hear I made a potion, you don't get excited. You get a little scared because that means something's in the toilet, if the dog is involved, or your child is now covered in something that takes 48 hours to wash off. It turns out my child had mixed an unholy combination of juice, toothpaste, and my cologne in a cup and proudly presented it to me like some kind of medieval alchemist. And do you know what I did? I took a sip because I was tired. That's how deep into parenthood I am. Let's be real, parents. Sometimes we've got to lie to survive. Not in a bad way. I mean, the strategic, keep your sanity type of line. Like when my kids ask, "Where do French fries come from?" And I say, "From the grocery store, fully cooked." Or when they ask, "Their tablet isn't working," or I just break and say, "It's on a break." And don't even get me started on how many times I've said the ice cream truck only plays music when it's out of ice cream. Legendary, right? Yeah, that one brought me years of peace. But they eventually caught on. Now my 17-year-old, has reservations about anything that I tell him, because there was one particular time where I had to explain to him why I said McDonald's was closed on Sundays, like Chick-fil-A. And I got caught up in my own web of lies. Now, I didn't want to go through this episode alone because parenting is funnier when you share the struggle. So my producer, Gabe, he's going to share a little bit of his anecdotes, a few things or two that he knows about turning parenting fails into comedy gold. Gabe, welcome to the show. I mean, you're a huge part of the show naturally, but I got to ask you, what's one parenting moment that you had questioning your life decisions?
Oh man, where do I start? Kids have lots of interesting questions, or they come up with the craziest stories in their imagination world. Just recently, and I don't know if we're even allowed to put this on the pod, but you let me know.
We're unfiltered, so
we're about to jump on a bath time, and he's getting clothes off, and then he's like started pretending that he's a superhero, and then he goes, "And I am Super Penis Man." And I'm gonna pee all over everything.
Did he really say that?
He said that. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm Super Penis Man. That's actually funny. You don't laugh at that.
Wait. The best part is, he says, "My penis is magical." I was dying. My wife heard that from downstairs and she was dying.
That's hilarious, Gabe. I haven't yet run into that conversation. When that happens, though, I'm definitely going to let you know. So, yeah, we're not crazy here. These are, this is all day, every day. You're going to get caught up in a few things. Your kids are going to tell you some hilarious things. And that's life, right? That is ultimately going to be, legacy. You'll look back on those times. We'll have some banter about it. We'll have some laughs about it. At the end of the day, humor is survival. It's how we deal with tantrums, messes, and that moment when your kid screams, "Daddy, you're pooping in the public restroom" at full volume. finding the humor in parenting isn't just about laughing at our kids, even though, let's be honest, they do some wild stuff. It's about laughing with them. It's about showing them that mistakes aren't the end of the world, that life doesn't have to be perfect, and that a little bit of joy can get you through the messiest days. So the next time your toddler throws spaghetti at the wall, take a deep breath, grab your camera, and remember, you're just building up material for your future stand-up team. All right, y'all. That's it for today's episode of To Whom It May Concern, the podcast. If you laughed today, do me a favor. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with another parent who needs the energy in their life. So one of the funniest things that has happened with three out of my 4 boys, Gabe, as and this is, toddlers, right? Toddlers are gross. They've all managed to somehow open up their diaper and just forget that for a moment that they've had to go number 2. To the point where it somehow falls out of their, like, either their left or their right leg. And one of the funniest moments, my niece was walking up the steps, and I think either Ashton or Kingston, can't remember which one, but one of them definitely just went on her leg and she froze. And all she could say is, "Ew, it's so warm." And I thought that was hilarious, but gross at the same time. Don't get me wrong. You're not a parent of any child until you got the poop fall out the leg and you either are inches away from stepping on it or it just somehow...
Now, I'll tell you one better. You're not a parent until you actually have poop in your hands. Okay?
Oh, man. Oh, my God. You're right.
When you're cleaning poop or you're picking up your child and you grab his behind and then realize
the
that you
infamous...
have poop in your hand.
Yeah.
And then you have to wash those clothes
thoroughly. Or burn them.
And grab them with your own hands,
Or burn them. Langston has gotten me too many times. So the youngest is, he likes blowouts. That's his claim to flame right now. All of the kids have done the blowout thing. I think the only kid that has thrown up on me has been Ashton.
Luis didn't, he had a, he never fully threw up on us, but he had a lot of
that spit up.
A lot of spit up.
Yep.
And so for the longest time, our shirts were always covered with spit up.
I'm lying. One of the reasons why you always see me and I got some form of stain. Yeah, Langston would be the culprit. Langston is the spit up king. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I think he's outgrown that a little bit because he's not doing it as frequently.
He will.
But it was a big part of his repertoire.
Yeah, Luis struggled with that. We actually had to prop him up after a bottle and burp him and keep him propped up for a little while for the milk to settle. And
that was the twins.
But even then, I mean, it got to a point where I didn't even care. Like, all my shirts were full of spit. So.
You're just a target practice at that point.
You never, the things that you do, things that you used to care about, all of a sudden you don't care about it anymore. Like, I've always been a clean freak and always wanting my shirts and t-shirts to be perfect. And then you have a child and then
kids make you forget about that.
Anymore.
It goes out the window.
Yeah.
I've lost consciousness with trying to keep kitchen, living room clean and the house and in 2 seconds flat. They wake up from a nap and it's bedlam. That is annoying. It's super frustrating as a parent. I have to ask myself though, what
hill you're willing to die on, I don't think that's, Laura and I sometimes struggle with trying to keep the house clean, and like you're saying, it's like a never-ending cycle. But part of me, I'm just trying to help Laura be not to worry too much about it, because it can be consuming and just this never-ending loop of house always a mess.
Of course.
And so, of course, we have a day of the week, or sometimes, let's be honest, a day of the month,
Right.
because where we focus on, okay, let's clean the house, to try to keep it clean and tidy, but we have to be okay with the mess, and we have to find somewhere in our mind a switch that we can turn off.
Yeah.
So that we can have peace.
Yeah.
Because, unless you're super loaded and you can hire like all these maids to come every day, that's not going to happen, and so, you have to find some peace and then just schedule a day once a month, once a week, whatever works for your schedule, but at least you know that, all right, it's coming. We're going to set aside, like, pay a nanny, heck, or something to take care of the kids while you're, going to town on the floors and the kitchen and the bathroom, and
just to get it right, and that they're not getting in it. Yeah. And I agree. It's we do have some folks that come in like once a month, and I always scratch my head because I'm just like, I do this for my wife, but I do it for my peace of mind as well. But at the same time, in less than 24 hours is all it takes for, like, will somebody even here?
Well, but it's clean though.
But it's clean.
I think that the house can be messy, and I'm okay with messy, but when it's not clean, it's like, okay, we need to clean. Like,
absolutely,
we need to scrub this toilet, right? It's not like, if the house is not tidy, I'm okay with it, but when it's dirty, it's
you're
my
like,
problem.
I'm like, whoa.
And so I'm okay with the messiness. I'm not okay with the dirtiness, and so
that makes a lot of sense.
We do try to keep the house clean, and if it gets messy, toys, all over the place, pillows and all that, I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother me, yes, but I'm able to turn that switch off. But is the dirtiness what that probably drives me crazier?
For sure.
And the one thing that I'm okay if I work so hard in cleaning the house and then in 5 minutes it's already messy, I'm okay with it because I know that at least the house is clean,
Exactly. And I guess we ended on that. That's great. That's parenting, folks. Tune in and turn up to Whom It May Concern. Peace.